We will begin shortly. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the hearings on the Committee on Small Business and Cultural Affairs. At this time, please silence all electronics and do not approach the dais. I repeat, please do not approach the dais. At this time, if you wish to testify, please sign up a slip at the back of the room, even if you signed up online. If you wish to sign up online, you may do so at testimony@council.nyc.gov. That's testimony@council.nyc.gov. If you need additional assistance, please contact the sergeant. Chair, you may begin.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. I am Councilmember Oswald Feliz, Chair on the Committee on Small Business. Thank you for joining today's hearing with the Committee on Small Business and Committee on Cultural Affairs, Libraries, and International Intergroup Relations to discuss our oversight topic, public space activation and small business revitalization in naturally occurring cultural districts. I'd like to begin by thanking Councilmember Carlina Rivera, whom I have the honor and the privilege of co-chairing this hearing with. I'd also like to thank representatives from the administration, members of the public, and of course my colleagues who have joined today in person and via Zoom, including Councilmembers Carr, Brooks Powers, Hanks, and Hanif via Zoom. Over the past 4 years, we've seen small businesses face significant challenges. We've also seen businesses respond to these challenges in unique and inspirational ways. Recently, in fact, in New York City celebrated the roughly 183,000 small businesses in our city. Even as we celebrate this record new number of small businesses, we must ensure that we continue to address small businesses effectively and equitably. At the Small Business Committee's hearing this past April, we touched on a very important topic facing the city, vacant storefronts and its effect on public spaces and commercial corridors. This is a huge challenge for our commercial corridors. Vacant storefronts can be tied to limited foot traffic for all the small businesses and concerns for public safety. An existing solution to addressing the need to revitalize commercial corridors is through the infusion of arts and culture in business communities and in public spaces. This city is home to a diverse and incredible landscape of unique neighborhoods with so much to offer. And the city can play an important role in bringing together local businesses and cultural organizations to activate and revitalize local commercial corridors. It's important to emphasize that when we talk about small businesses and arts and cultures, these are not separate communities. Many cultural organizations are themselves small businesses, and vice versa, from community theaters and art galleries to coffee shops and restaurants. And they all have a shared interest in activating public spaces in a way that will attract foot traffic and enliven neighborhood culture. In fact, a look at the Department of Small Business Services website shows a number of commercial district needs assessments from all boroughs that point to opportunities to infuse arts and culture into public spaces as a part of improving pedestrians' experiences and supporting local businesses. We've also seen a number of business improvement districts intentionally and successfully engage with local artists, performers, and cultural organizations to enrich commercial experiences, often through public performances or artwork. So many examples of these activations of public spaces through the intersection of small business and culture exist across the city, from the Queens Night Market to the Fun on the Fifth Festival in Bay Ridge, to the Meatpacking District's Edward Hopper-inspired exhibition, to the annual South Bronx Culture Festival. Many of the most successful examples arise naturally from existing cultural networks that are rooted in the unique history and communities of their neighborhoods. City governments should celebrate and support these naturally occurring cultural districts and networks because they're engines of enduring social and economic growth, and quite simply, they make our city great. In today's hearing, we seek to closely examine these intersections of art and culture, businesses, and public space, and how these intersections can revitalize a commercial corridor. We look forward to hearing from SBS on how they can support these areas of interest in all the neighborhoods that want it, ensure these opportunities are equitably accessible, and facilitate coordination with other agencies to ensure these opportunities are effectively enacted. I want to thank Jessica Boulay and Rebecca Barilla from Central Staff for putting this hearing together, as well as my team, some which have joined us, Santiago Baena and Miguel Peña, and everyone working in the background to make this a reality. Now I'll turn it over to my co-chair, Councilmember Carlina Rivera.
Thank you, Chair Felice. Good morning, everyone. I am Councilmember Carlina Rivera, Chair of the Committee on Cultural Affairs, Libraries, and International Intergroup Relations. We are pleased to join the Committee on Small Business today to look at naturally occurring cultural districts and at how the Department of Small Business Services and the Department of Cultural Affairs might work together to enrich the quality of life in the city's neighborhoods. In Create NYC, the 10-year comprehensive cultural plan that over 188,000 New Yorkers participated in and that was adopted in 2017, 2 of the original 8 issue areas outlined are particularly relevant to our hearing. 1, neighborhood character, and 2, arts and culture in the public space. Strategies that were identified in Create NYC as important for working on enhancing neighborhood character included these: support arts, cultural, and science programs in all neighborhoods, in all boroughs. Raise awareness and promote belonging in neighborhood art and cultural environments. Ensure that the support of neighborhood-based arts and culture enables existing communities and cultures to thrive in place. And strengthen and protect the existing cultural infrastructure in New York City. We can agree that those are all well worth doing. Strategies that were identified in Create NYC as important for working on supporting arts and culture in public space included these: actively encourage, support, and strengthen public spaces as vital places for creative expression and community building, and increase opportunities for artists to work in public agencies and public space. That would cover the Public Artists in Residence program currently operated by DCLA, which embeds artists in New York City agencies to engage with civic issues, and the Percent for Art program, currently operated by DCLA, which commissions artists to create artworks with a budget taken from eligible New York City funded building projects. We can agree that those are well worth doing too. Both of those issues are now represented in DCLA's action plan adopted in 2019 to carry out the goals of Create NYC and used since then to guide DCLA's work. One critical objective in the action plan is the very first one: increase equitable funding and support for culture, especially in historically underserved communities. We hope that we can hear about how naturally occurring cultural districts can and do encompass and nurture our historically underserved communities. Another critical objective in the action plan is this: strengthen connections between the cultural sector and government. As representatives of our local government, we are looking forward to hearing how we can strengthen our connections to our incredible cultural sector. I believe that we will also be hearing about some exciting work being done by cultural organizations to bring new resources and new ideas to our local communities. I'm looking forward to that. I want to, again, thank the chair for his leadership, and I want to acknowledge council members Palladino and Williams, who have also joined us. I want to thank the committee staff who put together this hearing and who always do such a brilliant job in preparing us as council members. Christina Yelamati, the committee's counsel, Regina Paul, the committee's policy analyst, and Sandra Gray, the committee's finance analyst, and of course my staff, Katie Lowe, my chief of staff, and Eddie Amador, my director of communications and legislation. Thank you, Chair Felice. I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, co-chair. I'll now turn it to the committee council to administer the oath before we hear from the mayoral administration.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm Jessica Boulay, counsel to the Committee on Small Business. Today, we will hear testimony from the Department of Small Business Services to start us out. Joining us as panelists, we welcome Calvin Brown, Deputy Commissioner for Neighborhood Development for the Department of Small Business Services, and Harris Khan, Acting Chief of Staff. if you could both raise your right hands, please. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this committee, and to respond honestly to council member questions?
I do.
Thank you. Please begin when you're ready.
Good morning, Chair Feliz. Good morning, Chair Rivera, and members of the Small Business and Cultural Affairs Committees. My name is Haris Khan. I'm the Acting Chief of Staff at the New York City Department of Small Business Services. I'm joined today by Deputy Commissioner Calvin Brown from our Neighborhood Development Division. SBS's mission is to create economic security for all New Yorkers by connecting them to good jobs, creating stronger businesses, and building thriving neighborhoods. Our teams work every day to make New York City the best place for an entrepreneur to start, operate, and grow their business. We're pleased to discuss the ways in which SBS supports public space activation and small business revitalization through our agency's work. During COVID-19, outdoor dining supported nearly 12,000 businesses, helping many survive the most severe impacts of the pandemic. Local businesses also benefited from patrons frequenting open streets, pedestrian plazas, public parks, and our neighborhood shops. Under the leadership of First Deputy Mayor Tor Springer, and in collaboration with our partner agencies, SBS delivered key initiatives in the Mayor's Blueprint for Economic Recovery over the past 3 years. We launched the $85 million New York City Small Business Opportunity Fund, marking the largest public-private partnership in city history aimed at supporting small businesses. The fund reached over 1,000 businesses citywide, with 80% identifying as minority or women-owned, empowering diverse entrepreneurs across New York City. SBS also initiated the NYC Best Business Express Service Team, which has saved businesses over $36 million in fines and fees. With support from the City Council, we implemented over 100 reforms to cut red tape for small businesses by creating first-time warnings, cure periods, and removing outdated mandates, saving businesses over $8 million annually. SBS also introduced groundbreaking grant programs providing critical support to revitalize neighborhoods and business corridors in every borough. Today, New York City has more jobs and small businesses than ever before, a record-breaking 4.7 million jobs and over 183,000 businesses. Notably, 1 in every 3 small business has opened within the past 2 years. Our city's robust economic resurgence is supported by the administration's laser focus on public realm improvements to unlock economic potential. Mayor Adams appointed Ya-Ting Liu as the city's first ever Chief Public Realms Officer, charged with implementing City Hall's vision for accessible, clean, and vibrant public spaces that drive foot traffic to small businesses. In supporting these efforts, SBS works alongside her team, several city agencies, including Department of Cultural Affairs, Department of Transportation, Department of Buildings, Department of City Planning, Department of Parks and Recreation, and the Street Activity Permitting Office. SBS also sits on an interagency capacity building task force with the Mayor's Office of Nonprofit Services for city agencies that interact with nonprofits. DCLA, led by Commissioner Lori Cumbo, has an annual budget of over $250 million to support over 1,000 local organizations. Many DCLA grantees leverage their funding to energize public spaces with vibrant events, such as the West Side Festival organized by the West Side Cultural Network in partnership with the Meatpacking Bed. The Coney Island Mermaid Festival, another DCLA-funded event, attracts hundreds of visitors to the iconic boardwalk and supports businesses along Mermaid and Surf Avenues. SBS also plays a role in public space activation, not only as a funder for community-based development organizations, but also as a connector, a facilitator, and an advocate for their needs across city government. Our Neighborhood Development Division, led by Deputy Commissioner Calvin Brown, oversees New York City's network of 76 bids, which themselves serve nearly 300 miles of commercial corridors and invests approximately $200 million into our local economy. And over the past 3 years, SBS has allocated over $35 million in grants to over 100 community-based development organizations, supporting over 88 public space activations, among other revitalization efforts. We are proud of this historic infusion of funds, already resulting in the expansion of Long Island City Business Improvement District, the creation of the Cypress Hills bid, with a future East Harlem 125th Street bid, and a Coney Island bid approaching legislative review in the coming months. Our grants also enable community-based organizations to produce 39 commercial district needs assessment, which study the existing business landscape of a particular neighborhood through merchant, consumer, and shopper surveys, as well as an in-depth inventory of streetscape conditions. Following the completion of these assessments, SBS deploys neighborhood-specific interventions through our grantees, our agency teams, and in coordination with city agencies. As an example, the Neighborhood Initiatives Development Corporation, an Avenue NYC grantee for FY25, will conduct a CDNA analyzing corridor conditions around the East Tremont section of the Bronx, providing recommendations based on community feedback. And this August, SBS's new commissioner, Dinah Schall-Gross, announced over $650,000 in the first ever public realm grants to 10 community-based development organizations all across our 5 boroughs. Our partner organizations will use this funding to develop place-based projects such as temporary lighting installations, public art, wayfinding signage to direct visitors to important sites around the neighborhood. This work builds on last year's lighting grants, which led to almost $1.7 million in funding for 17 organizations. In Murray Hill, Queens, Asian American Federation launched their Find Your Soul district marketing campaign with the activation of an underutilized public plaza on Barton Avenue. The Asian American Federation hosted cultural dance classes, a luncheon featuring local restaurants, and a public photo exhibition on their open street, and also commissioned a mural reflecting the neighborhood's Korean culture. In North Shore of Staten Island, La Colmena, one of the first public realm grant recipients, plans to paint 3 murals celebrating the strong Mexican and Italian heritage presence along Port Richmond Avenue from Ann Street to Hooker Place this year. In the Bronx, the 161st Street Bid and the Urban Design Forum have transformed Lou Gehrig Plaza with seating, shade structures, and lighting. These additions allow local organizations to host free outdoor music performances and events, building a stronger sense of connection for residents and attracting more visitors to the neighborhood. In Brooklyn, Arts Gowanus and the Gowanus Canal Conservancy will develop the Gowanus Walkabout program, a creative wayfinding initiative to promote and support local businesses and culture during a period of substantial neighborhood change. The project will utilize site-specific and digital signage designed by local artists to creatively educate and guide visitors around the neighborhood. As you can tell from some of these examples, our FY25 allocation of $7.3 million in city funding provides critical support for cultural assets and revitalizes our commercial corridors. While most of our grant applications for this fiscal year have closed, our Building Creative Capacity Grant, in partnership with the Van Allen Institute, has a deadline of November 15th. We encourage members of the committee to encourage nonprofits in your districts to apply. Lastly, our programming goes beyond the public realm itself and supports small community leaders as well. SBS's Neighborhood Leadership Program, managed by Coro New York, teaches management strategies to emerging leaders. The program focuses on how neighborhood leaders can support small businesses and strengthen commercial districts through a cohort model. Since 2015, SBS has trained 274 leaders, and in the past 2 years expanded eligibility intentionally to include staff from cultural organizations. SBS is committed to ensuring that small businesses thrive in every commercial corridor and is grateful for our partnership with sister agencies, local community-based organizations, and the City Council in this work. We look forward to discussing ways to improve public space activation and strengthen our local economy. Thank you, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have for us. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your testimony, and thank you so much for everything that you and your team does on this issue. We live in the most diverse city in the entire world, and it's important that we help our small businesses and small business corridors and regions show off everything that they have to offer. So thank you for everything that you've done on that, including in the region of East Tremont and the Bronx.
Thank you.
So a few questions many questions, including about the different initiatives and programs and grants available for programs related to culture. But I guess I'll start with, your approach to arts and culture as part of the inclusive economic growth strategy. So a few questions on that. Mm-hmm. How would SBS describe their engagement with arts and cultural organizations?
Thank you so much, Council Member. we work with community-based organizations across the city. Now, some of them focus purely on merchant organizing. Some of them do a blend of merchant organizing, cultural activations, and arts. But what you can tell from the testimony and what has happened over the past 2 years, there's been an intentional focus on making sure we are looking at the intersection of art, culture, and economic development. And that's why the city launched the first ever public realm grants. This is not something that has happened in the past, and specifically designed to energize our corridors with art installations and work that will beautify the neighborhood.
Okay. Does SBS have a designated person or process that focuses on identifying and mobilizing local cultural resources to support small businesses?
So our entire division, we have a division of neighborhood development that's led by Deputy Commissioner Calvin Brown. That division, with approximately 27 employees, they're focused on economic development at the local neighborhood level. And I think, as is clear in most of the work that we do not see clear lines of separation between some of this art, installations, some of the cultural work, the vibrancy in our communities, the diversity in our communities. And we know that the work of revitalizing commercial corridors in of itself means revitalizing culture around the city. And so that team of 27 works tirelessly every day on these issues.
Yeah, and I would just add, Council Member, that as part of our CDNA process, the Commercial District Needs Assessment, organizations that participate in that neighborhood assessment, they do look at the other organizations, whether they're arts and cultural institutions, that can support the type of work that they're doing as part of the assessment that they do.
Okay. What type of outreach does SBS conduct to ensure that local cultural leaders are consulted and included in the efforts to revitalize a local commercial district?
So all of our grant funding is community-led and community-driven. And so the work of interventions that we see take place as a result of SBS's funding, it is determined inherently by community leaders and community organizations. One example of that, council member, is when an organization does a commercial district needs assessment. Beyond the fact that this organization has decided they want to embark upon this work in that neighborhood, the CDNA process forces them to do merchant surveys, shopper surveys, consumer surveys, really engage with the local stakeholders and incorporate those insights into the final recommendations that they produce as part of the CDNA process.
Okay. Has SBS noticed an interest in bringing more art and performances to public spaces to help revitalize our commercial corridors? Commercial corridors, but also areas such as public plazas next to commercial corridors and more.
Yes, and I think most New Yorkers saw that interest just during the pandemic as we saw the need to rely on public spaces, pedestrian plazas, open streets, and many New Yorkers just wanting to walk down their commercial corridors. There's been tremendous interest in seeing art and culture and just vibrancy back on our commercial corridors. And that is why you're seeing an emphasis by the agency over the past 3 years in really focusing in on this intersection between arts, culture, economic development. We see it through not only this public realm grant that is $650,000, but beyond that, making sure that all of our programming, wherever it makes sense for a local community-based organization to do those kinds of interventions, enabling them with the other grants as well. They're not limited to the public realm grant, but we're doubling down on it with this initiative that the commissioner announced in August.
Okay, so what are different grants that or initiatives that would be useful to activating public spaces?
So CBDOs, community-based development organizations, we encourage them to apply to our Avenue NYC grant, our Neighborhood 360 grant. They can also apply to merchant organizing. And then for some organizations and neighborhoods where they feel the need to embark on a journey of bid formation and bid creation, the administration announced the first ever bid development grants. The bid development grant might not be perfectly suited for some of this work, but almost every other grant is. And even in the bid development grant, part of the deliverables are executing on a demonstration project. And that could be a large-scale public space activation, a street fair of sorts, a lighting fixture of sorts. And so we don't see this work siloed. This is all integrated into the vision of our division and the grants that we issue. But we're doubling down on it with this public realm grant that we've allocated $650,000. And we're spreading that money to every single borough and with 10 organizations benefiting from this.
DCLA published a 10-year plan called Create NYC, as you mentioned earlier, which sets several goals aimed at ensuring that economic growth in all neighborhoods is community-driven and inclusive. Has SBS ever been contacted by DCLA regarding the parts of the Create NYC plan that touches on small businesses?
So we work very closely with the Department of Cultural Affairs, and that's not just from the time of the Create NYC plan. That's an ongoing relationship. It's incredibly strong. We have conversations with them from storefront vacancy to even culture at risk, and when a nonprofit organization, a cultural organization might be in a difficult moment, being able to sit on a task force to do that work is important to us. We sit on DCLA's Culture at Risk Task Force. We have membership there, and it's open lines of communication. And you can see there's overlap in our work in some ways, where we fund some organizations that may be doing very similar work that a DCLA grantee might also be doing in a similar or adjacent neighborhood. So there's a very strong relationship there.
When we're talking about public spaces, including sidewalks, but also public plazas, these are things that are under the jurisdiction of the Department of Transportation. So just curious, does SBS coordinate with DOT to discuss how these spaces can be utilized by small businesses to promote commercial and, I guess, cultural activity?
Yes, we have close relationships with the Department of Transportation, also the Street Activity Permitting Office, which plays a critical role here as well. And on DOT, one example of how this intersection of public space activation, small business, and the DOT jurisdiction over the right-of-way, we were involved with the Dining Out NYC programming, and our food and beverage industry partnership team served and worked closely with DOT in the rollout, making sure that the perspectives of restaurant operators and entrepreneurs were heard in the development of the program's rollout as the permanent program launched this year. And we were just actually in Elmhurst last week with Commissioner Gross and Congressmember Grace Meng, visiting businesses, making sure they knew about the Dining Out program, as well as promoting a grant program that we have for restaurants that are transitioning into the permanent program.
Okay. Is there anything that SBS thinks DOT could be doing to make these public spaces more accessible? Public spaces, including and especially our public plazas.
So, I mean, this administration is really focused on making sure that we address and streamline permitting challenges across the board. Permitting is complicated and complex for many CBDOs, and so that's why the mayor appointed the first ever Chief Public Realms Officer. She has then issued a Realm of Possibility report that lays out specific recommendations on improvements to the complex permitting systems that exist and the different scenarios that a CBDO might need to encounter, whether they're organizing a street fair or another type of activation on the streets. And so we work closely with Chief Public Realms Officer Yating Liu. We work with our counterparts at DOT, Street Activity Permitting Office. And on SAPO in particular, when any of our grantees are putting up high multi-block street fair type activities, we work very closely with SAPO. We inform them of these opportunities, of these events that are being planned. We try our best to make sure anything that is possible on our side to provide technical assistance to CBDOs in these local communities, we do so and flag it for the relevant counterparts at city agencies.
Okay, very good. Okay, and can you also elaborate on how you coordinate with DCLA on storefront vacancies?
So we have regular conversations with the DCLA and a variety of city agencies on challenges that come up in the city in terms of economic recovery. We're in a really bright spot at this point now. We are at 183,000 small businesses, the record-breaking number. We've never been at this number before. There are persistent challenges in vacancies. And Councilmember, we had a hearing a couple months back on this particular topic, but we're seeing overall the city's recovery has been incredibly strong. 3 out of the 5 boroughs have a vacancy rate less than 10%. 2 of them are around 10, 11%, and really concentrated around central business district and areas where work from home has taken a hit on the economy. But we're seeing a tremendous outer borough resurgence, and that's backed by some of the Life XYZ and vacancy data that we have at SBS.
Yep. And what are ways that SBS has worked together with DCLA on the issue of storefront vacancies, which is obviously a very concerning issue?
So we've discussed how do DCLA funds the Arts on the Avenue program, which activates vacant storefronts. I could defer to them to speak more in detail on that. So we've talked about their strategies. We've talked about our strategies, which include the wide range of grant programming that you've heard of today, over 35 million deployed, most of which is new funding that never existed at the agency, but for the Blueprint for Economic Recovery that our first deputy mayor led at the beginning of this administration.
Okay, so I have a lot of questions about the different grants, including Avenue NYC, Neighborhood 360, the Public Realm Grant, the Street Improvement Program. But I'll pause for now. I'll turn it over to my co-chair, Councilmember Colleen Rivera, for questions.
Thank you. Those are good questions. I'm excited. All right. I wanted to follow up on a couple of programs that you mentioned that I'm actually a bit unfamiliar with, and I think that's why having this hearing is going to be so informative, because small business services, you clearly have laid out the number of grants that you are allocating and dispersing, and it's great news. And I want to bring as many of those grants to the culture community as possible, and so that's why we're here. So let's start with Arts on the Avenue. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So that's a DCLA funded program. We'll defer to.
All right. Well, let me just start with Chair Felice is going to ask about the storefront improvement program, but why I bring it up is because, my district is very interesting in that we have these great small businesses, and many of them are actually rooted in hospitality. And so sometimes we don't have multiple businesses on a block opening until later on. And there was at one point where we tried something called the 100 Gates Project, which was to paint the rolled gates, because these businesses don't open till 4 or 5 p.m. And so we want to ensure that it doesn't look like a shuttered business. We know what that attracts, sanitation issues, et cetera. And so it gave an opportunity to local artists to actually paint these storefronts. And so I thought that was something that I felt was high impact and didn't require a ton of funding, always ensuring that our artists and our cultural institutions and organizations are getting paid a living wage and what they're worth. So we could get more information on that. Another program that you did mention that I'd love some more information was the Culture at Risk Task Force. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
That's also led by Senior Advisor Andel Castillo at Department of Cultural Affairs. It's a task force. Our understanding is to focus on bringing resources to nonprofits that are struggling from the city, state, federal levels and consolidating that information. And there's an interagency task force that we serve on, and we provide any information from the SBS side on services and resources we have that could be helpful to those organizations.
Okay. Well, you mentioned some of funding sources that you allocate directly. For example, some of them go to bids. Do any SBS funding sources cover a bid hiring artists or cultural organizations to bring performances or artworks to their districts?
Yes, so we have the small bid grant program that was done or launched by the Adams administration to support our smallest bids. We wanted to make sure that some of our smallest bids, most of them being in the outer borough, would be able to do public space activation and really amplify the work that they were doing along commercial corridors. So as part of that funding, they can use that funding to bring public space activation. They can bring local artists to their corridors to do art installations. One of the grants that you did mention that is sort of a DCLA intersection is our Building Creative Capacity, which came from DCLA. And with that, kind of similar to the 100 Gates that you mentioned, is using light intervention to sort of transform these commercial corridors by putting art installations in vacant storefronts so that they're not looking fallow and that they, lobbying up a commercial corridor.
I just ask because I have two interesting examples, right? I have maybe a more typical bid, which is the Union Square Partnership, and they have this really amazing idea to expand sort of the footprint of the park to incorporate more of the streetscape, which I think it's already a very sort of crowded public space in terms of vendors and fairs, and it's just well known, it's iconic. And I feel that could always use even more partnerships. They bring in artists to actually paint the street itself, to make it brighter and to identify pedestrian spaces. And then I have not necessarily a bid, right, but I have the Fourth Arts Block, which is a place that directly supports the dozens of cultural organizations that live, work, and breathe on the block. But there are also small businesses there that directly benefit from those cultural organizations, and they maintain that block in a way that I feel it's unlike any in the city. So I like the bid partnership here in terms of ensuring that they have the funding to hire artists and cultural organizations. I also want to see and get as much information I can about in terms of the definition of, you know, how we improve districts and how we maintain our blocks. And I think that naturally occurring cultural districts, and you'll hear from them later, they're certainly deserving of as many sort of outlets and avenues of funding. Are there any specialized forms of support or specific opportunities available to small business owners who live in the communities they serve?
So most of our grant funding, Chair Rivera, is focused on community-based development organizations and the work they do to re-energize, revitalize commercial corridors, which includes artists, culture, restaurants, food and beverage. So that's the work of our division. We also, separate from this neighborhood development division, regularly, every day, we also serve directly business owners across the corridors, over 24,000, and we do that all 5 boroughs. We've got business solution centers in all 5 boroughs that people can walk into. But we also created the first ever agency outreach team. It's a central team which merged 2 different units that did external affairs, and now that team goes out to different communities and not only walks door to door to merchants to educate them on the services that are available, but we also deploy our mobile outreach unit, an RV truck, that has gone out to over 40 community districts just in the last fiscal year.
When we look at the commercial district needs assessments, the CDNAs, organizations have clearly identified an interest in infusing arts and culture in public spaces and commercial corridors to enrich the pedestrian experience and support local business. How has SBS worked with organizations to put these interests into action? And I also just want to bring up, DOT was mentioned by Chair Felice, but we also have sort of this other intersection of open streets, which we've really relied on cultural organizations to activate these spaces, and some of them are along streets that have small businesses. So if you could just talk a little bit about the CDNAs and how SBS has worked with organizations to put the infusion of arts and culture in public spaces. And does SBS monitor or collect best practices for arts and culture programming by local business districts, for example, for business districts who are conducting a CDNA? So there's that, and then I don't know if you have any information on sort of how you're working with organizations on open streets, because we've seen that's a direct benefit to small businesses. We would love more information on that.
So yes, so as noted in the testimony, we have currently 39 CDNAs. We're happy to announce that we'll have 8 more that will be published soon, and we have 6 that's already in the works. So it's definitely a lot of rich information that we get from the data that's collected from these local organizations about some of the assets in their commercial districts, but also some of the challenges. So once we get that information is then put into a report that my team works with these organizations to kind of come up with a deliverable, a scope of work that can sort of address some of the concerns that were raised in the CDNAs. We know from the CDNAs and the information that we collected that the activation of public space does directly benefit the businesses that are within those districts by bringing more people to the corridor, by bringing that foot traffic. So we get a lot of data from the CDNA that helps supports us in terms of identifying what works, what are some of the things that we need to tweak, how we can better engage our SBS with our interagency partners to support the local organizations that we are supporting. And then there was another question, sorry.
It was about just open streets and whether you work with DOT and DCLA to see how you can improve the program and better support the organizations that activate the space.
So we do regularly meet with DOT and their public space division to make sure that our priorities and some of our initiatives are aligned. At one point, we were funding organizations that were designated as open streets, but we don't have that funding anymore, but we still provide support, capacity building support to any of the organizations that DOT are working with. We sometimes during these open streets bring out our best team that can go out and provide any support to those businesses along those corridors or even adjacent corridors who may not be participating in open street. So we do have regular meetings to see where our priorities are aligned.
And you, speaking of feedback, you partnered with an organization, Design Trust for Public Space, to publish a report titled Neighborhood Commons, Plazas, Sidewalks, and Beyond, focused on how the city can better support commerce and entrepreneurship in the public realm. And the report reflects conversations with community leaders across the city, and its key findings revolved around: one, the need for fostering better agency coordination; second, increasing resources in underserved communities; and third, addressing commerce holistically in public space. Can you tell us more about the recommendations from that report and how it is working to address them moving forward, specifically on agency coordination and equitable distribution of resources?
Thank you, Chair Rivera. I think that just shows this report was issued 3 years ago. It was funded as part of a pandemic strategic impact grant, a review of the state of play at that time, and it even provided actual workflows and journey mapping for nonprofits, CBDOs, and bids in navigating permitting processes around the city. And it points out, as you mentioned, the cumbersome sometimes processes that exist. And really, in response to that report, you've seen the focus of this administration on creating a chief public realms officer. You've seen them issue out a report, The Realm of Possibility, laying out a strategy on fixing, wherever possible, reforming, wherever possible, the permitting system across the city, and establishing a central office, which was one of the recommendations in that report, a central entity to oversee the public realm, which now exists through the Chief Public Realms Officer, a central coordinating office that works across the different deputy mayor verticals and the different city agencies. And we're really proud to have that leadership in City Hall and to work with Chief Public Realms Officer Yating Liu.
I'm a fan. I think she's very smart and visionary. Can you just describe the fiscal year 25 Public Realm Grant?
Yes.
Where did the idea originate from, and what organizations were eligible to apply, and how many actually applied and were awarded?
So the Public Realm Grant for FY25 really came from the previous fiscal year when we did a commercial district lighting grant. And this came back from feedback that we got from partners about how we can improve the experience on commercial corridors by improving the lighting, but also speaking to a neighborhood's cultural identity. So this wasn't just putting up any type of lighting. One, we wanted to improve the lighting, but also have a way of them expressing their community identity. So after the success of that grant, we wanted to open it up to other components of the public realm, like neighborhood navigation, which is wayfinding. How can we direct people to the businesses within those commercial corridors, the type of businesses that are there? Art canvassing, murals, other ways of these organizations to amplify those cultural identities of those neighborhoods. So we expanded the options under the public realm. And this is once again came from feedback. We've done 39 CDNAs, and as stated in the testimony, they included some of those components, but we wanted to specifically create a grant where then those organizations can focus on those public realm interventions that help improve the commercial corridor experience.
And I'm just glad that you mentioned cultural identity. What type of language support are available for various cultural groups to learn about and access SBS and DCLA funding and support?
So we, council member, we work with a variety of CBDOs. Many of them serve immigrant communities. As you probably heard in our testimony, the success stories we shared aren't just success stories we picked out that were immigrant focused, but these are really reflective of the kind of work that happens every single day in our division. So our grants are accessible to different communities. We do workshops before our grant deadline expires to make sure that if folks have any questions about the grant application, eligibility, the criterias, that they're able to get that assistance. And we promote these across all community boards, and we share every single grant application for our 5 major grants with local offices, city, state, federal, making sure that they can also amplify. And we have our own community partners list of over 500 organizations that we share to, and we continue to build that list in partnership with others.
And I just want to note that we are, for this fiscal year, are funding for Fourth Arts Block for the Public Realm Grant. And they will be doing work along Hester, Grand, and Broome.
Fabulous. And one thing I wanted to add, I know this was a DCLA thing with the culture at risk, because I know we've worked with Anne on the task force, who is great. We've worked on a number of projects, including with an organization called the Wild Project, which is in Alphabet City. Anyway, it's also fabulous. You should go there. I was really looking for an example of the way the Culture at Risk Task Force works to support these institutions. And maybe you don't have that information directly, but I think there's certainly, again, a way that you and SBS and DCLA can work together, because I think that work in that task force is really important. So I just wanted to add to that. I'll turn it back to Chair Felice, because I know you had a couple more questions. And I want to thank you both.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chair Rivera. So I would like to acknowledge Councilmember Lewis, who has joined us, and also Council Members Williams and Zhuang, who were with us. Thank you, Co-Chair Rivera, for those questions. Wanted to follow up on one of the questions regarding the public realm grant. Can you elaborate on how SBS has worked with the chief public realm officer?
Yeah, so
Can you provide some examples on that?
So before the launch of the grant, in discussion about strategy around the city on how to energize public realm, public spaces, we have regular conversations with the Chief Public Realms Officer on those topics, and to make sure that everybody is, one city, one voice, making sure everybody knows of all the great work that's happening, and it lives under a strategy that is directed by City Hall. And just, I think Chair Rivera asked a question that I don't think we fully answered, but on the number of applications, we might have answered. I didn't hear the answer, but I want to make sure folks heard it on the record. We had 49 applications for the Public Realm Grant. Because of the funding that we had, we were able to award 10.
Very good. Okay, cool. All right, so I want to ask some questions about some additional initiatives and programs, including Avenue NYC and Neighborhood 360, which is a program that especially helps low-income communities organize with projects related to revitalizing different communities. So I guess for these questions, we could focus on Avenue NYC and Neighborhood 360, and we could cover other programs later. How long, and again, Avenue NYC, Neighborhood 360, how long have these programs been in place for? How much funding has they received over the past years?
So Avenue NYC is the longest grant program that SBS had between the grant programs that you just mentioned. It was the longest, and it started out as being a $20,000 grant. It was like a small impact grant, but over time we realized that to have a greater impact and to really help build the capacity of the organizations that we were working with, that we needed to increase the funding to up to $100,000 per fiscal year. So it went from a $20,000 small impact grant to a larger grant. Because it's federally funded under CDBG, most of the projects, well, all of the projects have to be in LMI neighborhoods. So this is where Neighborhood 360 has come in, and during the de Blasio administration, when we were doing a lot of rezonings, SBS saw the need to really support the small businesses and the commercial corridors that were being undergoing rezonings, and to make sure that we can support those small businesses and those commercial corridors. So the Neighborhood 360 grant was created to make sure that we can reach those neighborhoods that may not be LMI, but are still undergoing neighborhood changes and could still use some of the interventions that we were deploying in Avenue NYC. So those are the two grant programs that we work with to, one, do an assessment. So we're helping to build the capacity of these groups so that they understand how to recognize some of the challenges that they're experiencing along their commercial corridors, and then to further come up with a plan of action to address some of those with interventions that can support their businesses. All of our grantees are exposed to the myriad of resources that we have at SBS. My division is just one division, right? And we focus on helping to build those thriving neighborhoods. But part of that is making sure that we're thinking about the workforce, right? Thinking about the direct resources that small businesses can receive throughout the other divisions at SBS. So we connect those organizations to those other divisions so we can have a direct impact on those small businesses as well as the collective, which is the commercial corridor.
Okay, and I guess connecting that program to public spaces, how have these programs helped improve or revitalize public spaces? Are there any successes that stand out? Any examples?
Yeah, I mean there's 39 examples in our CDNA.
Maybe we can talk about like top 3 examples. Maybe.
Top 3.
The top three.
We can't.
three, top
Council,
five.
Chair of Police. We can't choose between the neighborhoods of New York City.
So I guess
You're gonna get us in trouble.
But what I would say is that what we strive to do through these grant programs is helping these organizations to look at these spaces through a different lens, right? Once again, helping to connect them to the other agencies that they have intersection with, whether it's DOT. So that is shown during the programming. So like some of the examples when we talked about Flushing and them creating a program to help it's almost like a grant program, not a grant program, sorry, a program where businesses were recognized, where if you took a copy of your receipt, it showed how many people were going to these various businesses. In one of our grants in Flatbush, they created a passport book where it outlined all of the businesses that are in that district so that if you wanted to know where you can get the best roadie, you know where to go. So these are things that help these businesses directly. So those are what we feel are success stories when these organizations are coming up with programming that directly impacts the small businesses that are within those commercial corridors.
Right. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. All right. So these grants and initiatives are obviously important, but of course it's also important that people have meaningful access to the grants and programs. And obviously, as we know, red tape can sometimes get in the way. So just want to ask some questions on that issue, the issue of red tape. SBS's mandate includes helping small businesses navigate bureaucratic requirements and streamline permitting and communications with various agencies. What has SBS learned from local partners about the aspects of public space activation and cultural programming that are most bureaucratically burdensome?
I think it was alluded to earlier about just the permanent process. Different agencies have purview over different spaces. Sometimes there's overlaps. So working with the Chief Public Realm Officer and as well as our interagency partners, we're helping organizations that we work with who want to activate these spaces navigate that process, and then to kind of brainstorm of how we can sort of streamline that process so that it's not burdensome in terms of who do they need to go to for certain permits. You may have one agency that is to activate the space, but if you want to actually manage that space, there's another agency. So we're working through some of those issues to make sure that it's easy and removing any of the sort of bureaucratic barriers that may prevent, especially our smaller, limited capacity organizations from participating.
Okay, can you elaborate on that? What are different ways that you help different organizations navigate the bureaucracy that sometimes exists?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Yeah, what are different ways that you assist these organizations navigate bureaucracy?
So we do that, one, because we have regular engagement with these organizations, whether they're our community-based partners or our bids. We have regular calls with our bids, regular interactions with these organizations. So if they're elevating some of these concerns, these are then concerns that we have when we meet regularly with the Public Realm Officer and DOT to say, hey, these are some of the concerns that we're hearing from our partners. Are there ways that we can streamline this? And if they require additional conversations or legislative changes, those are conversations that we have. So it's really about SBS is being that intermediary to make sure that we can elevate some of the concerns that we're hearing from our partners. One of the things that we're looking into is a bid insurance supplemental relief, right? We know that for our limited capacity organizations, if they wanted to activate space, that there's a certain liability that they would have to take on to manage those spaces. So we're thinking of how can we remove all of those barriers so that those organizations that know the type of programming that gets the community out, the type of program that benefits the small businesses, that they are not burdened by, whether it's insurance or permanent, that they would not be able to activate these spaces that we know will have a net positive spillover effect on the entire community.
Okay. And what are different issues and barriers that people usually come and seek help for? So you mentioned permitting. Any other top issues that stand out?
I think those are the biggest issues that we've seen. I think the other issues, my team is pretty talented and can help them through, like what type of programming they should have there, who are some, what's the time in, what are the agencies that we need to direct them to. So it's really just navigating the permanent process. Resources we help them with where we can. The reason why we have these sort of interagency meetings is if DOT is funding them for certain things, then maybe we can supplement that funding so that they can really have an impactful event. So we try to be aligned, but in terms of resources, SBS, we try to do our best to support them with it, but it's really about, permitting, purview, which agency that we need to direct them to, and that's where we sort of act as this sort of light post to send them in the right direction.
Yeah, and I guess on that same topic, what are different parts of the permitting process that people usually seek help for? Is it filling out an application? Is it getting a response, knowing who to contact to make sure that they properly submit an application?
We can get more context on that, yeah.
But
what are some of the pain points that they're experiencing.
But cheerfully, just for the awareness of this committee, our deputy commissioner is alluding to the team provides technical assistance almost every week whenever there's an issue that a partner organization is facing that receives one of our grants. They're providing technical assistance through that work.
Yeah.
And so this is...
And I wouldn't label as an issue. Like, we work with a lot of limited capacity groups, right? Sometimes it's their first time activating a space, right? They want to do it. They're excited. They want to be like, some of their other neighborhoods that are doing this sort of programming. So it's just really about educating them about, hey, this is the agency that has purview over this space. This is the type of permit that you might need. So we kind of walk them through that process.
Okay.
And very soon we're going to be doing a workshop for all of the bids and the CBDOs, an open call to really delve into the issues of permitting. That's separate from the one-on-one, the small group technical assistance we provide, but even a larger call that we're...
And it is worth noting that one of the things that my division did is that we had what we will call a resource fair, where we invited all of those agencies to SBS and had all of our grantees come. It was like a tabling event so that they can, just even know who the point of contact is for DOT in the permitting process, or parks, or at someone at DCP. So we had a resource fair with all those agencies and introduced them to our grantees.
Okay, very good. Okay, so I guess now I want to ask a few questions about collaborating with the big organizations, but also with doing outreach to the smaller organizations. SBS often partners with foreign organizations, including local bids, merchant associations. But just curious, what kind of outreach efforts does SBS undertake to reach smaller and I guess more informal networks and organizations?
Thank you, Chair Feliz. Over the past 2.5 years in this administration, there's been a tremendous focus on reaching immigrant communities all over the city, and we've done that through extensive outreach, organizing community roundtables, quarter walks across the 5 boroughs, and particularly in launching the merchant organizing grant that you've heard about and have heard us speak about. We've gotten funding for the past 3 years under this administration. This funding never existed before, and over the past 3 years, this funding was used to unleash the creation of merchant associations all over the city, and that helps in building organizational capacity along commercial corridors, and can be a first step to maybe future bids even down the line. So that's the type of commitment that the administration and our agency has shown on this particular issue, and so we do outreach on all of our services, our business services, our workforce services, but then we're also investing heavily in merchant organizing so that local merchants themselves can chart a future for their corridors together.
And oftentimes we have our usual suspects, right? Those who are aware of when we launch our grants, how to submit a proper application. But what we do is we encourage those larger, well-resourced, well-knowledgeable organizations to work with smaller, limited capacity organizations in those neighborhoods too. So we foster a lot of collaboration when we're granting and when we're looking in neighborhoods that we're trying to provide support and investment in.
Okay. All right. I would like to acknowledge Councilmember Botcher, who has joined us. So you mentioned the merchant organizing. So what are other programs that are offered for the smaller organizations to make sure that they have resources to thrive, but also to expand and reach their community a bit more effectively? So you mentioned merchant organizing. Any other programs that stand out?
Our Avenue NYC and N360 is like a great starting point for small organizations, because part of, as I stated before, is helping to build a capacity. And given the multi-year aspect of the grant, is that first year, one, we're trying to help them look at their commercial corridor through a different lens, right, to kind of really assess, some of the challenges. And then in the later years, through investment, activation, programming, we're helping to build their capacity so they think about the ways that they can address some of the challenges that were identified in the CDA through this program and through this outreach. And then once again, connected them to resources, whether at SBS or other agencies that they can use to kind of support the small businesses and the commercial corridor.
And for commercial corridors that want to activate a public space, what would collaboration look like between SBS, but also the many other agencies that, I guess, have jurisdiction over our public space, including DOT?
So once we make our awards and we know who we're funding for any fiscal year, we make sure that all of our partners are aware. So if there's other major project or capital projects that may be happening within the district, they know that we're also doing either a CDNA or we're working with a local partner.
And what are the different ways that SBS supports a neighborhood or business district that may not have a formal organization, they might not have a 501c3, which is obviously a requirement, but is looking for ways to activate public spaces, including plazas and other areas?
Our chambers are great partners too. Sometimes our chambers, they fill those spaces where there's no biz or no CBDOs. So they're one of our partners that we do fund. We funded the Queens Chamber of Commerce to do work in College Point because there was no local organization there that can support the work. So we do rely on our chambers sometimes when there's a gap in terms of support.
And can you talk about language-related outreach? How do we assist those that might have language barriers? And also, how are we tracking or making sure that we're providing adequate help on that matter?
So because this work is so deeply rooted in community-driven proposals, it's the community CBDOs that lead the work on the ground in conducting the merchant surveys, the consumer surveys, and the shopper surveys. And in that work, if a CBDO, the local organization that has determined that there should be some level of investment in their corridor and revitalization work across their neighborhood, if they determine that there's a need to now engage with the local shoppers and merchants in language, then they will take it upon themselves to make sure that their surveys are conducted in foreign languages, and then reflecting those insights in the final commercial district needs assessment. I'd also like to point out that our final commercial district needs assessment is published in all the 10 languages under Local Law 30, and generally for some of our programs, we go up to 22 languages because we are a city with a lot of diversity, and we want to make sure people can benefit from all the services that we have at SBS.
Okay. So SBS recently partnered with our organization, Design Trust for Public Space, to publish a report titled, all right, skip that. All right, I'll pass it back to Co-Chair Rivera for comments and questions.
I'll just add that Chair Felice mentioned the partnering with formal organizations like BIDS and merchants associations, and that's really important. I have many BIDS actually in my district that are really trying to activate open space and bring in cultural institutions. DCLA works with larger cultural institutions and groups. Sometimes, though, those are limited programs, they're one-time projects, they're not necessarily sustainable. And I think, as I mentioned before, we really do need like bid alternatives. And so I know you're gonna stay to hear testimony. You're gonna hear from some of the organizations about challenges that they've encountered being in the public realm program, both in fiscal year 24 and 25. And I think that we can make improvements based on some of those comments. And we certainly need more specialized programming and services on offer for smaller organizations or individuals who are interested in participating in this kind of work. I know you mentioned you're doing that probably more than ever. I'd say we have to go even beyond that. I do want to acknowledge Councilmember Bottcher. You had a question? Yeah, you're on.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Are you?
Wanted to get your thoughts on how we can get more property owners to agree to activate their empty storefronts with artist space, cultural space, pop-up space. We've struggled with that in our district. We have great programs like Chashama, Art on the Avenue with Barbara Anderson, who's done incredible things all over the city where she's gotten property owners in a certain neighborhood to all activate their storefronts simultaneously. But it's a huge, huge lift. And I even at one point had all my interns trying to get Bleecker Street to all the landlords to activate their empty storefronts with artist pop-ups. And landlords, by and large, aren't interested because they can't wrap their heads around it. They don't see the benefit in it, of it for them, and so as a result, we really only have a small handful of empty storefronts activated as artist space. What do you think could be done to incentivize landlords all over the city to activate their empty storefronts with artist space so that it's more of the norm rather than something that happens every once in a while?
Well, I mean, first, we're hoping that City of Yes really helps to unlock some of the opportunities so that we can have less vacant storefronts. But one of the things that we're attempting to do is through a pilot, which we're calling Building Creative Capacity, and this is a partnership with Van Allen, to think of light interventions that can be done to, activate these storefronts. And it could be, our installation, it could be a lighting a project. But part of that is, how do you engage with the landlords? And I think that's what you're talking about. So we are partnering with them to do a pilot in 3 neighborhoods, but we also are working with them to create a workshop so that they can come up with whatever best practices that can help with that landlord property owner engagement to help encourage more of these type of activations. And while we're only doing the 3 pilots in 3 neighborhoods, this workshop will be open to all of the organizations that we're funding so that they can learn about these tips, these best practices on engaging property owners around this type of activation.
Thank you. I would certainly include Barbara Anderson from Art on the Ave in that, because she has a way of getting property owners to agree to do it. She's got something going on there. I don't know, but they say yes to her. And so she has a lot of information and best practices to share. Thank you.
Right.
All right, and a quick question on that topic. Any obstacles that we could foresee on that issue? For example, property owners hesitating to allow, let's say, painting murals on their properties, given that it might impact the way that people see the community or might turn off potential tenants. Is that an obstacle that we've thought about or have heard about? Or any other obstacles on that? Obviously we want to reactivate.
We haven't, but we definitely are looking forward to collecting the data. This is a pilot, so we want to see what are some of the challenges and how we can sort of bake those challenges either into our program design or even further conversations that we're having with other interagencies about policies related to storefront vacancies and the type of incentives that would encourage landlords and property owners to participate. So we're would definitely, keep you guys abreast of how the pilot is progresses.
Okay, and some final questions. I know we want to hear from small businesses and cultural institutions. So some final questions before we excuse the panel. What are, and of course this is a question that would probably be best answered by the Department of Transportation, given that they're the ones with full jurisdiction over our public plazas and similar public spaces. But just curious, based on what you've seen, what are some of our most successful, vibrant public spaces, and what are initiatives that we have taken on to help them get there? Well, actually, maybe not the most successful public spaces, but what are some examples that stand out?
You don't want to choose your favorite
Exactly,
child.
yeah.
So there's examples, all over the city of public space activations. I think in our testimony we mentioned the West Side Festival as one example. We've mentioned the Coney Island Mermaid Festival.
There's Chinatown.
Chinatown Night Market. We mentioned in our testimony the Asian American Federation, the work they've done in Murray Hill to activate an underutilized public space and also utilize an open street that's over there. So we've gotten tremendous examples all over the city. It really is 88 public space activations that our work has funded over the past 3 years. And as you can tell, it's $7 million in the CTL budget that funds a lot of this work as well. And so we're trying our best with what we've had. We're really proud of the past 3 years of outcomes that we produced through some of this pilot work that has happened really in response to the economic recovery work and the first deputy mayor's blueprint on that topic. And we're excited to see all the FY25 projects come to life by spring.
Yeah, and I think just to kind of punctuate what was just stated, what we've seen as successful projects are these are activations that really speaks to the neighborhood identity, the culture, and things that people want to celebrate. So when Think Chinatown has a night market, it brings out not only just residents of the community, but other people who want to celebrate the Chinatown culture.
Very good. Okay. Anyone has questions? All right, sounds good. Well, we definitely want to make sure we hear from the small businesses and different cultural organizations and institutions. So I just want to thank you for your testimony and also thank you for everything you do to support our small businesses, our commercial corridors. We really appreciate you joining us and giving us all the information that you provided today.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Chair Rivera. Thank you so much. Oh. Questions?
All right, majority whip.
Calvin, you wasn't off the hook that easy.
Oh man.
Sorry. I had to pull it up. I left my book upstairs. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So, just want to thank the SBS team for coming out a couple of months ago to my district. I'm looking forward to continued engagement on how we reactivate some of the storefronts along the merchant corridor. And so, as it pertains to the cultural organizations, and I apologize if you have already answered this, just let me know if so. I wanted to know, how does SBS plan to address bureaucratic hurdles that smaller cultural organizations may face when activating public spaces in their communities?
So yeah, we mentioned it, but one of the ways that we do that is if we know that a cultural institution is limited capacity, we would pair them with another partner. Usually we have multiple organizations that apply for the same neighborhood. So if we see that there's an opportunity for collaboration for a well-resourced organization, we suggest that there's pairing with a smaller organization so that they can work together, and it helps to build the capacity of that small organization, but also gives them an opportunity to then be a part of the public space activation, and then they're aware of the process, and once again, what are the agencies that they need to be involved with, who has purviewed over these spaces. So it's like sort of learning from their other partners and creating that sort of network, because we realize that working together they have a better impact than just individually.
And who would like a smaller organization be able to reach out to? Like, is there a person in particular at SBS to know who would match them up with someone?
So it would usually happen when we're launching our grants, but at any time of the year, they can reach out to our agency to find out the type of grants that we offer, when those grants will be open, and then just any questions about the application process and how to apply.
And how does SBS and DCLA measure community engagement and satisfaction in neighborhoods where cultural districts and local programming are newly introduced?
So this work, Councilmember, this work is inherently led by community-based organizations, and we track a wide array of metrics with number of people, number of events, and Deputy Commissioner can go really in very specific detail. We've got 2 pages of the metrics that we have depending on the grant that we operate and what information we collect from our grantees. So that work is done to ensure that there's outcomes from that work that we can all celebrate, and it's leading to rural revitalization on corridors across the city.
Okay, my last question for you is, can SBS and DCLA elaborate on how they are engaging with outer borough communities, particularly in Southeast Queens and other transit deserts, to bring cultural programming to these neighborhoods?
So
And I will start by saying that I know that there's activation in our new plaza in Far Rockaway, which is great. Would love to see some more activation with things on the mainland side, like in, in the speaker, Councilmember Williams in my district in the greater Southeast Queens area.
So, Councilman, we would encourage you and any member that has any nonprofits that work in any part of your district where you feel like there hasn't been enough investment in some of this public space activation to please let us know what the nonprofits are, connect us with those nonprofits. We want to make sure they're aware of every single grant opportunity that the department puts out, and they can compete for these competitive applications. And inherent built into our criteria is consideration for neighborhoods where we have not done work in the past. So we're trying our best to expand the reach of our division and the limited funding we get sometimes to as many neighborhoods, as many boroughs as possible.
Thank you.
And I just want to note too about the earlier question regarding small organizations and knowing where work is done. This is a great time to plug that SBS. We have a great neighborhood map that is on our website that shows where all of our investments have been over the last 7 years. So if there's
What's the website?
We'll share it with you
We'll
right
share
after
it
the hearing.
yes.
Okay.
And you can go in and you can see where we're doing our work, what that investment looks like. So if there's smaller organizations that want to get involved and connect with those larger organizations, we'll be happy to make the connection, but they can also reach out to those organizations as well.
Thank you. Thank you, chairs.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any other questions before we excuse the panel? All right. Well, thank you so much for your testimony, and also thank you for all the information that you provided today, and of course for always being accessible anytime that we have questions. We really appreciate it. The panel is now excused.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much, Chair Rivera. Thank you so much, Chair Felice.
Thank you again. All right. I now open the hearing for public testimony. I remind members of the public that this is a government proceeding and that the quorum shall be observed at all times. As such, members of the public shall remain silent at all times. The witness table is reserved for people who wish to testify. No video recording or photography is allowed from the witness table. I just want to repeat that again. No video recording or photography is allowed from the witness table. Further, members of the public may not present audio or video recordings as testimony, but may submit transcripts of such recordings to the Sergeant of Arms for inclusion in this hearing record. If you wish to speak at today's hearing, please fill out an appearance card with the Sergeant at Arms and wait to be recognized. When recognized, you'll have 2 minutes to speak. Again, 2 minutes to speak on today's oversight hearing topic, public space activation and small business revitalization in naturally occurring cultural districts. If you have a written statement or additional written testimony you wish to submit for the record, please provide a copy of that testimony to the Sergeant at Arms. You may also email written testimony to testimony@council.nyc.gov. Testimony@council.nyc.gov within 72 hours at the close of this hearing. Audio and video recordings will not be accepted. For in-person panelists, please come to the table once your name has been called. For virtual panelists, once your name is called, a member of our staff will unmute you, and the sergeant at arms will set the timer and give you a go-ahead to begin. Please wait for the sergeant to announce that you may begin before delivering your testimony. Now I'll call our first panel, which will be in the following order. Jane Carey from the Whitney Museum, Karen Atlas from Naturally Occurring Cultural Districts, New York, Ryan Gilliam from FAB NYC, and Beth Allen from Downtown Brooklyn Arts Alliance. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right, so Jane Carey from the Whitney Museum, you may begin whenever you're ready.
Great, thank you. Hi, good morning, everybody, and thank you, Chair Felice and Chair Rivera and members of the. Okay. Hi, good morning. Thank you for holding this hearing today and offering the opportunity to speak about the Whitney's collaborations with its neighboring cultural institutions, nonprofit, and business community, which has helped to support key institutional priorities like raising engagement with our new free admission initiatives, Free Friday Night and Free Second Sundays. The Whitney's a museum dedicated to the art of America and located in the Meatpacking District on Manhattan's West Side. The neighborhood has always been a hub for culture, and in recent years, with the opening of new organizations like The Shed and Little Island, we've really cemented our neighborhood as one of the city's great cultural communities. The museum is joined with 20 other cultural nonprofits to form the West Side Cultural Network. We're a group that meets regularly to discuss how we can support each other's missions and also to produce the annual art celebration West Side Fest. West Side Fest launched in 2023 to welcome New Yorkers to visit our institutions with free and low-cost special programming and spotlighting all our community has to offer. The first year event welcomed in over 50,000 people to participating institutions. In the 2024 event, served over 130,000 visitors. The event was promoted by a communications plan which earned over 609 million media impressions for the neighborhood. And it was made possible thanks to financial and in-kind support from our business community, including Bloomberg Connects, Mercado Little Spain, Chelsea Market, Pier 57, Amazon, Wix Playground, and the Meatpacking District business Meatpacking bid. We're also so grateful to the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs and our elected officials that helped to support this event with spotlighting opportunities on how we could better get the word out to New York and joining us at a kickoff event to promote it. I also want to take a moment to speak about us being located within the Meatpacking bid. The bid manages our Open Streets program, and we're very grateful for their leadership there. Partnering with them has made it less time-consuming and significantly more affordable for us to activate our public space to offer free special programming. Okay. All right, thank you. We most recently worked with them on Sunday, October 13th, to offer free public dance classes on our street with Ailey School faculty as part of our Edges of Ailey exhibition. The public worked with dancers on the street, and the Commissioner of Cultural Affairs also joined us for this our October Free Second Sunday, which served over 6,000 visitors. It's one of our highest attended events so far. So thank you very much for spotlighting the ways that we can partner with our community and government to help strengthen our offerings.
Thank you so much. So we'll have the four panelists provide testimony, and then we'll give everyone an opportunity to ask questions to the panelists. So next is Karen Atlas from Naturally Occurring Cultural Districts of New York.
Hi, I'm Karen Atlas from Naturally Occurring Cultural Districts, New York, and we're delighted that you're having this hearing. We're a citywide alliance of cultural networks and community leaders working to revitalize New York City from the neighborhood up, and we were part of the Create NYC team. NOCDNY came together in the wake of the 2009 economic crisis in response to the vision, needs, and resilience of our communities. We drew on the idea of naturally occurring cultural districts as an organic and affirmative framework for how arts and culture can be integrated in community recovery and transformation. What is needed for NOCDs to flourish? Community self-determination, strong cultural hubs and neighborhood networks, sustained cross-sector partnerships, leadership development, peer learning, affordable space, activated public spaces, progressive policies that further equity, and long-term flexible funding that is responsive to the unique contexts of communities and the ways that small organizations work. I've shared with you a booklet with recommendations from our Reimagining New York City visioning sessions held with partners across the city. I'm just going to highlight a couple of them. Support the cultural hubs and networks that strengthen our communities with dedicated funding for NOCDs. A community cultural hub program with long-term public and private support could play a critical role. Center community decision-making in the design, development, management, and programming of public spaces. Proactively increase equity by resourcing groups who have historically had little access to public space. Addressing barriers to participation, and I can talk to you about permits and funding delays. Recognize and support community-based forms of infrastructure in addition to bids. And can I just add one example? The bid alternative, as you put it. So an example is a discretionary grant we got from Council Member Shahana Hanif via SBS in support of the Kensington Cultural Council, made up of small cultural organizations serving immigrant communities in Kensington, and we serve as the programming partner for the Avenue C Plaza. Another support for that work was DOT's Plaza Equity Program, which we hope will continue. Thank you for the opportunity to testify, and I can talk more about the alternative bid to bids issue.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Next up is Ryan Gilliam from FAB NYC.
Now, I think.
Now it
Okay.
is.
Hi, I'm Ryan Gillum. I'm the co-founder and executive director of Fourth Arts Block, or FAB NYC. We're a team of artists and organizers working to preserve, strengthen, and grow the cultural vibrancy of the Lower East Side. We were founded in 2001 by a dozen cultural organizations who ultimately succeeded in stopping our displacement from East 4th Street. Today, we serve all of Community District 3, from 14th Street to Canal, Bowery to the East River. We have a membership of 45 cultural organizations. We organize community-wide events, produce public art projects, activate open streets, parks, and plazas. We work with neighborhood groups on local issues, document community histories, offer fellowships and affordable workspace for artists. We are a founding member of NOCD in New York, and we're also a fiscal year 24 and 25 grantee of the SBS programs that have been talked about today. In New York City, this ginormous metropolis, the cultural character of our neighborhoods is, I think, our saving grace. It fosters connection, it allows us to live at a human scale. And yet the cultural character of our neighborhoods is also fragile, even consistently endangered. We all know what it is to lose what makes a place dear to us, what makes it special, what makes it specific. In the Lower East Side, sadly, we have some expertise in understanding this dynamic of cultural erasure. All our neighborhoods have cultural assets. All of them need cultural organizers. There are too few organizations like FAB who are focused on the cultural well-being of a neighborhood. I deeply appreciate that SBS recognizes that culturally vibrant neighborhoods are where people want to be, live, work, do business. I would like to see SBS move from project-oriented funding towards sustainable, multi-year funding. If you let me continue. I would like to see it grow its public realm program and fund more cultural partners like FAB, rebuild its support for Open Street, and expand that support to community parks and plazas. And I would like to see SBS support community incubators for cultural organizers, with training, workspace, mentorship, and funding for pilot projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony. Next, Beth Allen from the Downtown Brooklyn Arts Alliance.
Hi. My name is Beth Allen. I'm the executive director of the Downtown Brooklyn Arts Alliance. I had sort of prepared different remarks because I wasn't sure exactly how relevant this this hearing was going to be, but it's extremely relevant. So Downtown Brooklyn Arts Alliance is a network of 60 arts organizations in the greater downtown Brooklyn area. Most of our organizations are small. We were founded in the wake of the downtown Brooklyn rezonings, and it was a group of cultural organizations who came together and said, our neighborhoods are about to change. We need to make sure that we can be a bridge between the old and the new. But especially, I think one of the things that was really recognized was that the larger organizations were the ones that were being called upon to talk about economic development in the neighborhood. And it was the smaller organizations who were left out of these conversations. And they said, we all need to come together and make sure that those voices were equally represented, and also that the opportunities that we knew would flow from growth of our neighborhood would flow not only to BAM and BRIC and the other major organizations in our network, but to the small dance and theater companies, the small music ensembles, those that serve lower income populations and special needs. We have a lot of organizations that serve, disabled individuals, low income kids, et cetera. So one of my key mandates is to kind of be that representative, to be the person who pushes the bid to say, can you please take into account these other voices? I know you care most about like the ones that actually, serve the most people, or most visibly. One of the things that was really apparent in the testimony today was the extent to which a lot of these opportunities coming from small business services serve visual arts organizations and individual artists. Those opportunities don't flow to small organizations. The difference between having an individual performer or a DJ or something on your open street is very different than having a dance company perform. For starters, it's much more expensive and often much more complex, requires more lead time, et cetera. And so one of the key issues that I'm focused on is trying to advocate for those different kinds of opportunities, to not just see open streets as an opportunity for, your average local rock band, but also for organizations that are doing more complex, more community relevant, more interesting work, if I may say so, and more representative of what the cultural community of downtown Brooklyn actually is. So thank you.
Yep, thank you. Thank you so much for your testimony. Anyone has any questions for the panel? Council Chair Rivera and then Councilmember Palladino.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. I have so much love and respect for all of you. You do incredible work in your neighborhoods, and it's been such a joy and privilege getting to know you. I have a broad question in terms of like what opportunities do you see for the city? That's DCLA, that's SBS specifically. Those are the agencies that are here, though I agree DOT and Open Streets must be included. What opportunities do you see for the city to better support your work? And in your experience, and Ryan, you mentioned this, you're in the public realm grant space. And this, if you could speak directly to some of the challenges, the difficulties that tend to arise, maybe in that space, or even when you're working with different types of funding sources, I'd love to hear about that. Is that broad enough or too broad, or?
Well, let me start, and then you can narrow me down.
Okay.
So just to say, I think the Public Realms grant that's been talked a lot about today at SBS I think it's a really awesome, new program, and I love seeing how it's focused and thinking about arts and culture as different than just professional arts, but thinking about the cultural experience of a neighborhood, right? But it is tricky. As they said, it's $650,000. We got a grant to do a lighting project. We're one of 10 grantees, and it's a $100,000 grant. This is a reimbursement-based grant. My operating budget is $450,000. So just right there, you can see that it's a bit of a stretch for a smaller organization to even come into, taking something like that on. The other thing I would say is these are very complicated projects. These lighting projects require all kinds of permissions from DOT, electrical support. I did one of them last year. I'm involved in another one this year happening in Sarah Roosevelt Park, which is also kind of trying to address, it's bringing together culture and safety at the same time in a park that has a lot of issues going on. But the time frame in which I find out from doing the grant and the time it has to be done, it's not actually so hard on my end to put my partnerships together, but it's very slow working with DOT, getting them to approve anything. Parks is trying hard to work with us, but I would just say that there's a timing issue often with these ambitious projects. There certainly is a liability concern. I'm signing off to these contracts to be the liable partner on them, and that's certainly something I have to think about carefully. I would also just say that there are too few projects, right? It's a great program, but it's hitting neighborhoods once, and then they're going to move on to other neighborhoods. So this is not a sustainable program, even though I think they're trying to be very innovative about how they activate public space. So those are my initial thoughts there.
Well, I would, I also. Is it on? Yeah. I would underscore the timing issue. For small group, we're very small, and then we work on behalf of even smaller groups. And so for the work and the reimbursement nature is really difficult. We front all the money for the Kensington Cultural Council, have to wait months then to get reimbursed for it. None of the small groups could do that. They wouldn't have the cash flow to do that. So that's a big challenge. I think the other thing is I'm really intrigued and really want to promote this idea of other forms of infrastructure that are network-based. And so the idea of a bid is one kind of infrastructure, but so is a naturally occurring cultural district, so is a community network. We have so many examples of them. We just did work in 5 communities, including on with FAB, to really drill deep on what makes these work and how they function, and that's on our website, that participatory action research we did. I would call for more transparency. The funding we get from SBS, we had no idea it existed. We found out about it because our council member brought it to our attention because it was a discretionary grant. And then we had a council member who worked closely with us, Council Member Lander and then Hanif, to really develop a mechanism like the Kensington Cultural Council. So it was a real great partnership of developing this alternative form of community infrastructure. So those are just a few things. And then when you're funding a network, you have to look at it differently. So many grants are about funding one group. And if you're trying to have equity and you're trying to decentralize and really form a network, it's a different form of funding that allows you to bring multiple groups together to ask for money, and you can still be accountable with that model, but people need to understand better how networks work and how they actually further equity.
To piggyback on that, I think I think I can say on behalf of all of us, more funding for organizations like ours, and because we don't fit neatly in any philanthropic guidelines, any government guidelines, any small business guidelines. We are a relatively new organization. I am largely funded by our member organizations. We charge fees, and because we don't really qualify we qualify for very little else. We developed a new pilot initiative last year called Arts Month May, designed to promote the work of our organizations in May. As part of that, we built out a platform so that we could do like neighborhood guides, so that we could have small business listings, that we could put in there information about other cultural organizations, other social service organizations, to really try and bring a full community together. I did it on $3,500, not including my salary. And, this is an initiative where we would love to invest in a really robust website, would love to invest in staff to actually work very closely with the bids, with, to ensure that it is really robust in terms of our cultural partners outside the cultural community, but we simply don't have the funding. I'm a single person staff. This was frankly like something that I was like, we just need to do it as a proof of concept. But there's no logical place for me to get funded for that. It's not because it's serving a general audience, because it's serving cultural organizations and small businesses, and not, the community itself directly. It just doesn't fit into guidelines. And that's true of most of what we do. And I'm not seeing that change at a foundation, at a philanthropy level. We are also, we're grassroots. We're here to be the voice of, and think about things from the arts perspective. I think often we're asked to fit into the business perspective, or a very narrow conception of community, whereas the arts are trying to broaden that and think about it differently. It's hard work, doesn't pay well.
Ryan, did you want to add something? And I have a
I just
question
wanted
for
to
Jane,
add
too.
to recognize that actually when we think about the cultural character of the neighborhood, we aren't just thinking about artists and cultural organizations, right? We really are thinking broadly about what is the cultural health of a neighborhood. That includes all kinds of heritages, all kinds of stories that are important to that community. So I think that's why this is an interesting conversation to be having at small businesses, right? Who is thinking about that broader health of a community, and a little bit different than what we talk about when we're at Department of Cultural Affairs.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. I just wanted to jump in and say that when you think about the things that government can do to help us in their work, having this hearing is so helpful. The Westside Cultural Network, we're 5 years old. We're still figuring out what we can do together to meet my other leaders in the cultural space who've been through the challenges that we're grappling with as we meet regularly, is helping us advance our work so much faster. So just being a space for convening and introducing other people in the sector is so useful. Again, I gave a shout out to offices of our elected officials that help to support Westside Fest and cultural affairs, but our partners in government have unlocked things that maybe didn't even occur to us could be opportunities for celebrating the work we're doing. So just appreciate that. With the network in Westside Fest, I think we are trying to figure out how do we break through. We took the idea, we got the idea for Westside Fest from our community. Our community boards told us, we know you're here, but we didn't realize all the great things you did. So we came up with this event to shine a spotlight on it. So we are responding to the needs of our community. How do we make it an annual moment that people anticipate, like Museum Mile and like the events so many of us around here produce? That's where that additional marketing support and dollars too have been really helpful. And the other thing the network needs some assistance with is just operational things. This past year we experimented by working with Project CART to offer free busing for seniors to get to our sites during the course of the event. I think we had some lessons on how we can do better next year, but that's just a unique challenge in our community too. So. Thank you.
Actually, I wanted to ask you because one thing that was mentioned in this conversation was serving a particular group. And the Whitney recently, how did you decide to go for free for young adults all the time?
I have to credit our director, Scott Rothkopf, and our trustee, Julie Meritu, and another trustee, Susan Hess, for prioritizing that. I think Julie especially has spoken very movingly about how when she was a young artist, how important it was for her to have access to our city's cultural spaces, and we feel like it's vital importance for the institution to make ourselves as accessible as possible to young folks that might be facing other barriers for entry. So we're really proud about that program that will launch in December. That adds on to our free Friday nights every Friday from 5 to 10 o'clock and our free second Sundays where we're free every second Sunday of the month. And I'll just say, since those other programs launched in January, we've seen a difference in our audience. Our audience during our free admission hours is typically 10 years younger than our general audience. We're 60% BIPOC during our free admission. We're 36% during regular hours, and also the household income has dropped. So we're really proud of that work, and thanks for the opportunity to share.
That was going to be my follow-up question, is like, how has it changed your type of visitor? That's very interesting. I think someone else, so before we just go to Councilmember Palladino has a question, I just wanted to also say, like, in this conversation, Ryan told me this not a long time ago, but it's like stuck with me, that I think that there's unfortunately an expectation that artists, forgive me, I'm paraphrasing, that artists and people that work with artists are going to create. There's just an expectation that you'll continue to create, and that's not necessarily fair to you all, and you're deserving of funding and support. So that's why we're trying to bring you into these spaces where you're so relevant and influential and beneficial. So thank you. Councilmember Palladino?
Thank you. I actually have to piggyback on you, Carolina, because I wanted to commend all of you for being here. I have a tremendous respect for the Lower East Side. Know a lot of people who came from there. You were kind of like the melting pot. And when I hear what wants to be preserved, be happy that you don't fit in, because I sure am proud of that. Because this is a dying breed. This is old Manhattan right here. And what you bring is unique to the table. It's so important. And I don't want to see this disappear. So, like I said about Councilmember Rivera, what she said was about funding. I want to see that you're taken care of. This is a niche that we cannot afford to lose. And you are different, and I love the fact that you're different. And artists and musicians and everything that fits in with you goes with my background. It's what I come from. So I just want to say thank you for being here. I appreciated listening to each and every one of you that I had no idea. Like I said, you're a niche here and there, and I'm happy to now know that you exist, and I will see whatever I can do to help you out. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Councilmember Palladino mentioned. Obviously all of you have a lot to offer, and it's important that we have programs and initiatives to support you, but it's also important to make sure that those initiatives are truly accessible. And if all of you have to wait for 8 months for funding of a program, that's obviously a problem. So yeah, really important that we have good initiatives, but also make sure that if there is funding available, that all of you are able to get access to it ASAP, so that you could effectively and efficiently carry out the good mission and goals that all of you have. Any other questions before we excuse the panel? All right, the panel is excused. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Cynthia Carrion from El Museo del Barrio, Leslie Deval from Street Lab Inc., Michael Schnall from Brooklyn Botanical Garden, and Nicole Gardner from Building for the Arts, New York. Cynthia Carrion, you may begin whenever you're ready.
Can you hear me? Great. Good morning, saludos. My name is Cynthia Carrion, and I'm here representing El Museo del Barrio, an institution with over 50 years of experience in amplifying and celebrating Latino, Caribbean, and Latin American culture in New York City. We are dedicated to making cultural spaces accessible and vibrant for our community, from our location in El Barrio to larger New York City neighborhoods. El Museo has found public space activation to be a powerful tool for bringing our community together and for engaging and energizing local economies. Our programs, including the annual Three Kings Day Parade, Dia de los Muertos, and our Uptown Bounce block parties, one of which this past summer was dedicated to the 60th anniversary of Fania All-Stars, has brought life and excitement to our neighborhoods. These events are not only cultural experiences, but also economic drivers for small local businesses, drawing thousands of residents and visitors each year. Through open street permits, these initiatives help connect residents and small visitors each year, creating collaborative atmosphere and strengthening community ties. While these events are impactful, they also come with unique challenges. For instance, programming in our courtyard, despite being city-owned space, requires costly Department of Building permits. These additional expenses, which can amount to several $1,000s, limit our ability to activate the space fully and to direct more resources toward community programming. To better support arts organizations like ours, I recommend the council and relevant city agencies consider: 1, reducing or subsidizing DOB permit costs for programming in city-owned spaces, especially for nonprofit cultural institutions. 2, establishing a funding stream similar to the Small Business Services Storefront Improvement Program to help small arts organizations beautify and activate outdoor spaces such as courtyards and facades. This would allow us to improve the aesthetic appeal of our neighborhood and provide an even more welcoming environment for visitors and residents alike. El Museo is committed to sustaining and expanding these community-centered initiatives, but enhanced city support would greatly amplify our impact. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much. Now, Leslie Duvall.
Hello, thanks. So I'm Leslie Duvall. I'm the co-founder and executive director of a nonprofit called Street Lab that's been around for a little over 10 years now. And we have grown. We have long been working with communities all across New York. We're a citywide organization to help activate public space driven by community desires and ideas. And I work right now at the intersection of all these agencies that we're talking about: SBS, DOT, and Department of Cultural Affairs. I've gotten some grant funding over the years from all three agencies. And what I think is actually the single most important thing that you all could encourage the city to do is to support the Open Streets program, because what I see as a real need is simply a venue. We all know that there is so much culture in our neighborhoods, in the big institutions, in the organizations, in the businesses themselves, and what they have to offer in terms of sharing culture publicly with free activities. And those groups need funding, but there's also people who do it in the course of their daily lives to their neighbors, offering culture, sharing culture with their neighbors. And a venue is the single most important thing that I have seen is so important. Not all neighborhoods, as you know, have plazas. Not all neighborhoods have storefronts. We've heard about the challenges of working with landlords. Public space is available. I'm not saying it has to be turned over permanently 24/7 for events. I'm also not saying that we should have big events and festivals all the time. Festivals are wonderful. But what my organization has been supporting is the ongoing weekly activities that are maybe smaller in scale, a drawing station set up with beautiful high quality art materials, for people to come by and draw and share their talents and look at other people drawing and share who they are. We have all kinds of programs that we're supporting groups with, and I'd love to see more support for Open Streets. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Next is Michael Schnall from the Brooklyn Botanical Garden.
Good morning. My name is Michael Schnall. I'm Director of Government and Community Affairs for Brooklyn Botanic Garden. Thank you for the opportunity to testify. The garden was founded in 1910 on 52 acres of city-owned land, and is one of 34 New York City institutions operated in partnership with the city by independent nonprofit organizations on city property. What's unique about the garden, after its fine landscape and horticultural design, is its founding commitment, which put education, especially youth education, on par with horticulture and science. That commitment can be seen today through its partnership with the local high school and our pioneering work with community greening. The garden goes beyond the garden walls. We teach urban gardeners, block associations, civics groups, and others, and supply them with plant donations that are grown at BBG. Together, BBG, the Brooklyn Museum, Brooklyn Public Library Central Branch, the Brooklyn Children's Museum, Brooklyn Academy of Music, and the Prospect Park Alliance exemplify what you're calling a natural occurring cultural district. We're uniquely accessible from various forms of public transportation and walkable amongst all of these properties. We collaborate on marketing and programmatic initiatives like our summer Brooklyn Cultural Adventures program, and collaborate marketing between the museum and the garden amongst the group, our staff, and are often coordinating our engagements with the community to ensure we're all on the same page with messaging. Public events happen at all of these locations year-round, bringing in hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers to visit these jewels in the cultural crown of New York. We engage the surrounding community, small businesses, by sharing the information about our events and programming with the community boards and local businesses. And in turn, it helps increase our audience. And we're confident that these events provide spillover into the surrounding community, where our visitors are grabbing coffee, eating lunch and dinner, and perusing stores before and after events. As someone who's worked in government, parks, and cultural spaces for my entire career, I'd be curious to learn more about what new council-supported initiatives could be developed in coordination with SBS and Cultural Affairs, both in the form of working groups and council-funded initiatives to bring cultural groups and New York small businesses closer together. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Next is Nicole Gardner from Building for the Arts New York.
Hi. I'm Nicole Gardner, Director of Advancement at the nonprofit Building for the Arts. Building for the Arts was formed in 1976 as the 42nd Street Development Corporation, with a vision to transform the severely distressed blocks on 42nd Street west of Port Authority into a vibrant and inclusive performing arts hub. We became the backbone of a community movement that brought together civic development and Hell's Kitchen community leaders and a diverse group of local arts organizations already in the neighborhood, who transformed the neighborhood by developing the theaters, restaurants, and apartments known as Theater Row, and who advocated to turn Manhattan Plaza into affordable housing for artists, the first of its kind. Since its opening night celebration in 1978, Theater Row has been off-Broadway and independent theaters' home on 42nd Street. What's more, our audiences provide an economic boost to neighborhood businesses west of Port Authority. Today, Theater Row refers to the multi-theater complex operated by Building for the Arts, which hosts 300 mostly small performing arts companies each year, but it also refers to the place, especially 42nd Street between 9th and 10th Avenues, which includes our facility but also includes our neighbors like Playwrights Horizons and Signature Theater, the Laurie Beachman Theater, Schubert Stage 42, just to name a few. We are proud of our organization's placemaking and community building legacy, and it lives on as off-Broadway companies continue to gather on Theater Row, especially now during what is really a very challenging time for the performing arts. Recently, I was walking by Restaurant Row, and I noticed their really wonderful new sidewalk bollards listing all the restaurants on that stretch, and I thought, we really need that for Theater Row. So we asked the council to support cultural districts like ours by helping us create improved creative signage and wayfinding and bollards to display the history of the neighborhood and the current cultural organizations, spaces, and offerings, as well as increased sanitation services for 42nd Street. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your testimony. Just curious, and I guess for those that have sought, access to public spaces, how easy or difficult is it to get access to, let's say, like, for example, Plaza or any other public space, if this is something that you've tried in the past?
Sure, I can start. So if you haven't been to El Museo, come. After 13 years, our scaffolding is down. We have this beautiful courtyard. It is so beautiful. But we are very limited in actually continuing to do programming in this beautiful courtyard. There is, due to our permitting, and so whatever we can really do to kind of fast track that, and also thinking about our limited budgets being used to go back into some of these budgetary, administrative costs, just to use a space that is literally in front of our exhibits. I think there's a lot of space that we can do there. Also, just to share that El Museo does walking tours of the neighborhood, and we would love to find ways to kind of, again, continue to activate that and highlight the beautiful cultural vibrancy that is East Harlem.
Thank you. I'd just like to add, that's pretty much how our Street Lab has grown over the years to fill a need for support for groups that want to activate public space. So everywhere we go is by request. We pop up 500 times every year in all neighborhoods, and we're providing other support as well. So we're providing groups with furniture so that we can make it easier. We're now helping groups actually apply for permits for open streets, help them create open streets, navigate them through the process, in some cases serving as a fiscal sponsor even for small block associations, and so that they can get other funding. So there's still a need. I think the process is onerous for a lot of groups, but I think there's workarounds, and there's organizations like Street Lab that have grown to fill in the gaps, and that's exactly what we're doing. The permit thing people have talked about, but there are actually ways to do it. I think the issue with culture in public space is a lot of cultural organizations are not set up, and their whole sort of business model is about being within walls, right, often. And so I've seen this with libraries, trying to partner with libraries over the years, is that, their model is about bringing people in, doing transactions, and serving people within their walls. It's hard for them to devote staff, just like small businesses too, for anybody to go outside their establishment to do something in public space. And so that's where Street Lab is coming in, to try to be that support, to allow groups that usually do things within their walls to bring it outside into a different form. During COVID, we saw a lot of groups experimenting with that. After COVID, they all went back indoors because that's the way they're set up. A lot of them that did things in public space during COVID experimented, but as soon as they were able to, went back indoors because that is their model. So I do think there's a need for an ecosystem that will support cultural organizations and groups in taking what they do within walls out onto the street in a variety of ways, whether it's furniture, storage, permit help, funding, all that.
Okay, anyone has any questions?
I just wanted to add, I've had this conversation, before with cultural groups, and particularly like maybe a cultural group can almost be leased like a public space, and they're sort of the holder of the permit. I'm not sure how we deputize that or figure out legislation around it, and there's so much liability. Maybe there's an RFP that goes out for a certain amount of time. So it's something we are thinking about. So I appreciate your input on that. And I just want to thank all of you. I want to thank the panel. Of course, I know Street Lab's been on Avenue B for sure. So thank you all. Thank you for your contributions to the city. Thank you, Chair.
Yep, thank you. And also, this reminds me of some parts of my district, including Little Italy, Bronx Little Italy, which is a vibrant commercial corridor. We have so many activities not every day of the year, but we have a lot of activity. But then we have areas like Forum Plaza, for example, a plaza that the city spent nearly $40 million about a decade ago renovating it and turning it into a state-of-the-art plaza, but completely underutilized. If anything, almost vacant, which is obviously a problem. So we have so many vacant or underutilized public spaces. We have also so many organizations that are looking to take advantage of these spaces, but then red tape and process gets in the way. So obviously, a big problem that all of us in city government, definitely need to give attention to. Yep, so thank you so much. Thank you for your testimony. All right, panel number 3, Young Kim from the Asian American Federation, Rosa Chang from Gotham Park, and Katie Hill from Perelman Performing Arts Center. All right, Young Kim from Asian American Federation, you may start whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Chair Feliz and Rivera, and both members of both committees. My name is Ayang Kim, and I serve as the Director of Economic Empowerment at the Asian American Federation, where we work to raise the influence and well-being of the Pan-Asian American community through research, policy advocacy, public awareness, and nonprofit support. My small business team's efforts will focus on empowering immigrant-owned businesses through merchant organizing and technical assistance, revitalizing commercial corridors, and fostering strategic partnerships to support the Pan-Asian small business community in New York City. Naturally occurring cultural corridors act as lifelines for immigrant communities, providing essential services and jobs as well as cultural spaces, but they also contribute more than just economic value. They foster social cohesion and cultural exchange, enriching the fabric of our city. And investing in these districts not only drive foot traffic and revenue, but also showcase the diversity that defines New York City. Our work in Murray Hill, Queens, as SBS also mentioned, in the past 3 years serves as a prime example of how focused public space activation and corridor branding can not only benefit local businesses, but also foster cultural exchange and economic growth. With the support of Avenue NYC program, Building Creative Capacity Grant, as well as DOT's Open Streets programming, AAF launched initiatives such as the Find Your Soul campaign to highlight Murray Hill as Queens Koreatown. Under this campaign, we developed wayfinding materials such as promotional videos and maps of local restaurants to help New Yorkers from all communities explore Korean culinary culture. Additionally, our food tours and other events brought over 2,000 visitors to the district. These efforts have led to increased foot traffic and visibility, with vacancy rates declining from 13.3% in 2021 to 6.5% in 2024. Our local business owners have also shared that they see a lot more diversity in their customer base, and they see New Yorkers from all over the city visiting their businesses. We believe this success story demonstrates the importance. May I continue? Thank you. We believe this success story demonstrates the importance of strategic investments in immigrant cultural corridors. Unfortunately, in spite of our promising merchant organizing efforts in Elmhurst as well as our track record in Murray Hill, we were not given the opportunity to bring our expertise to the business corridor in Elmhurst. Speaking of merchant organizing, I believe that merchant organizing within immigrant communities requires thoughtful engagement and long-term planning. One-size-fits-all approaches are not effective given the diverse cultures and business practices that characterize these districts. Our experience in Elmhurst taught us that building relationships and ensuring language access are essential for making meaningful progress. To this end, we respectfully recommend the following. 1, sustain and expand investments in commercial corridor revitalization within naturally occurring cultural districts, especially continuing the support for leadership organizations such as the Federation to replicate past success in other naturally occurring cultural corridors. 2, urge SBS to continue working closely with community-based organizations to ensure that these efforts reflect the needs and realities of immigrant businesses. 3, allow SBS to adopt flexible timelines and deliverables in their merchant organizing initiatives. And lastly, encourage different city agencies to work together to highlight districts and promote them as destinations for New Yorkers to visit as part of a local tourism campaign. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your testimony. Next, we'll hear from Rosa Chang from Gotham Park.
Hello, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Rosa Chang, co-founder of Gotham Park, a grassroots 501c3 created in 2021 to open, operate, and maintain a new community-led public space in a neighborhood that has been historically underinvested and overlooked. Right outside City Hall, we are an environmental justice neighborhood with over 47,000 residents within a half-mile radius, with racial, health, and structural inequity in a historically disadvantaged community, federally classified. As our site is anchored by the landmark Brooklyn Bridge, we are a DOT Plaza partner, and we opened 1 acre in 2023 and are opening a further 3 acres, we are excited to say, by the end of this year, and will be 9 acres when we are complete. The Brooklyn Bridge includes a built interior space beneath the bridge, which are the vaults. And they were originally designed to be interconnected shopping arcades, restaurants, wine vaults, and commercial space. They have been open and accessible for far longer than they have ever been closed, which is what they are right now. and they are magical and inspiring spaces. We have a moment that may come only once this generation to advocate for opening these vaults back up, and I am here today to ask for your support and advocacy with City Hall, DOT Bridges and Tunnels Division, NYPD Counterterrorism, to let New Yorkers back into these singularly majestic spaces with a New York Public Library that will service our diverse local community, which is 64% BIPOC and 20% of our families living below the federal poverty level. Shockingly, there are no public libraries south of Murray Street, so in all of Lower Manhattan. We think there could be no better opportunity than this iconic New York landmark that celebrates human imagination and achievement to reinforce for our community and our children that when we work together, we are capable of astounding things that spark joy in our hearts and expand our minds. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And next is Katie Hill from the Parliament Performing Arts Center.
Good morning. My name is Katie Hill. I'm in the Executive Director's Office at the Perlman Performing Arts Center, known as PAC NYC, New York's newest performing arts center. Thank you, Chair Feliz, Chair Rivera, the committee members, and your staff for this opportunity to share with you our mission to create community through the arts. Chaired by former Mayor Mike Bloomberg, PAC NYC is the last public piece of the rebuilding of the World Trade Center site. Since opening in September 2023, we have welcomed over 200,000 visitors to our building. We create connections by cultivating bonds between extraordinary artists and communities. Under the leadership of Executive Director Hedy Kamara Nunez and Artistic Director Bill Rausch, PAC NYC champions daring works and diverse voices in a range of genres, including theater, dance, music, and opera. These projects focus on artistic excellence and speak to the pressing questions of our time, while spotlighting diverse voices from all 5 boroughs of New York City and around the world, including those from BIPOC and immigrant backgrounds. You do not need a ticket to enter the building to experience the artistic events on our lobby stage or grab a meal at our restaurant, Metropolis by Marcus Samuelson. Our lobby is a living room for Lower Manhattan where all are invited to relax, connect, and be inspired by what they see on stage. The lobby stage is designed to increase access to high-quality art because all programming is free. PAC NYC launched our Civic Alliances program to deepen relationships with area institutions, including VMCC, Lenape Center, Sydney, the Interfaith Center of New York, and the New York Immigration Coalition. We have worked closely with these organizations to diversify the audiences and performers coming into our spaces and provided the resources of the center to support our partners' missions. We have also worked with neighborhood organizations, including Trinity Church, Chinatown BID, and the Downtown Alliance to strengthen the cultural community downtown. We are committed to deepening our alliances with longtime downtown institutions. For example, the students from BMCC have public monthly showcases on our lobby stage. We provide the students with professional performance experience, a stage run by union crews, and the same dressing rooms used by Oscar and Tony-winning actors for these students. The performances by the music and theater students are truly exceptional. They are the future of the arts, and we are very proud to be part of their present. In closing, I invite all members of the council and your staff to join us for our next free lobby stage performance, and we look forward to continuing to build relationships with other downtown cultural organizations and retail businesses and contributing to the revitalization of the downtown area.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for your testimony. Quick question, and this one's for Asian American Federation. Thank you for sharing all the information about the work that you did on reducing vacant storefronts, which is a big issue that we're seeing in many different corridors. Just curious, in your past work with SBS and other city agencies, has the agency ever asked you to share these impacts with them or talk about different ways and approaches that you're able to successfully reduce those vacancies?
Thank you for your question, Chair. SBS has indeed asked us multiple times to share our expertise. One of our staff members, Yeonju Kang, in the audience today, was also part of the most recent Neighborhood Leadership Choral program, where she also worked with other organizations and shared her expertise about our work in Avenue NYC program in Murray Hill.
Okay, and has SBS or any other agency connected you to different organizations or groups that are doing similar work?
In running our Open Streets program on Barton Avenue in the middle of Murray Hill, DOT has been exceptionally helpful in connecting us with other organizations such as Street Lab that can do programming with us.
Oh, very good. Okay. Any questions? Any other questions?
I was just going to add that I know, Pac, you've made some great relationships. You've cultivated great relationships with, like, the Chinatown Bid and Downtown Alliance and Trinity Wall Street. So I think that's, of course, very, very interesting. I'd love to join the lobby performance. I think that's great. I did want to also ask about Gotham Park, and how do you see this new space supporting small businesses?
I'm so happy you asked that. We actually want to partner with Welcome to Chinatown and build a small business incubation kiosk program where we actually have smaller kiosks really sourcing from our community, actually. So Alfred E. Smith Houses is actually a next door neighbor, and Ike Satora, who is a tenant association president there, has told me how people in her buildings are working to start businesses, but it's hard to actually figure out how that all works, and also to be able to access the foot traffic that would help these small businesses. And so we thought if you started small, and we were able to create sort of a breadcrumb trail that leads into our communities that have really suffered from having a lack of foot traffic, like Chinatown or the South Street Seaport. Imagine a trail of little kiosks that dot your way into Chinatown, which is only a 5-minute walk away from the Brooklyn Bridge, and it's 10 million pedestrian crossings, or along Frankfurt Street all the way to the historic South Street Seaport. And I personally believe that we fall in love with our tummies more than with our brains, and so if you see something that looks really yummy along the path, and then you want to drink a little coffee, and then you really want a tchotchke, because apparently all the tourists in New York City do, then you're just automatically going to follow these kiosks right into Chinatown and the South Street Seaport, and you are going to be supporting these small local businesses that are started right in our own communities. And then Welcome to Chinatown will help them figure out how to actually grow into a real storefront and have a bigger presence, and help them with paperwork and all of this. We want to really draw from our community to help our community thrive in many, many ways, and that includes the whole neighborhood, but also individuals and families, and create jobs.
Thank you. Thank you to all three of you very, very much. Chair?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your testimony and for all the work that you do in your communities. Would anyone else like to testify in person before we move into the remote testimony? All right, thank you so much to those that testified in person. We have 4 panelists who will testify via Zoom. I'll call them in this order: Lucy Sexton, then Michelle Cruz, then Jessica Walker, and then Francine Garber Cohen. So Lucy Sexton, you may begin whenever your Zoom is unmuted.
Thank you so much for hearing my testimony, and thank you in particular for this joint hearing of the Small Business and Cultural Affairs Committees. Cultural groups have long advocated for this inclusion of arts and culture groups and small businesses as critical to our city's economy and to its quality of life. A thriving streetscape brings people together, makes our communities safer, it improves mental health, civic engagement, and so much more. Data has proven that neighborhoods with strong cultural assets have improved outcomes in nearly every measure of what defines a healthy, happy, productive, educated, connected community. To state the obvious, when people are drawn out of their homes to see a show or take their kids to a dance class, they also visit local businesses, from diners to delis to retail. In the words of Andrew Ridgey, head of the New York City Hospitality Alliance, our city's economy is an interdependent ecosystem, and there are few connections as strong as those between culture and hospitality. invest in culture, and we invest in vibrant neighborhoods and thriving restaurants. So how can we support this interdependent ecosystem? First, by taking action to make sure that the rents for both commercial and nonprofit spaces do not skyrocket once they've created a great neighborhood. Commercial rent stabilization is long overdue, and tax incentives to allow cultural groups to rent and retain their spaces would be an enormous help. Increased funding for nonprofit culture is essential. In Ridgie's words, it's an investment that will help local businesses and our economies. You've heard other suggestions in these testimonies, and I've included more in my written testimony. I'll simply emphasize the fact that cultural organizations are also small businesses, whether they operate as a nonprofit or a for-profit music venue or a combination of for-profit and nonprofit dance studio like Arts House Schools in Coney Island. They should have easier access to support from the city's small business services and participation in the MWBE programs. Cultural organizations are suffering from disinvestment by philanthropy and increased costs on every front. The workforce's challenges also need to be addressed. I have some devastating statistics in my testimony about the flight of dancers, designers, actors, and more. I'll end by thanking again for raising up the critical issue of supporting both small business, cultural groups, and artists and culture workers to live in these neighborhoods and make all of this possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your testimony and for all the work that you do. I don't see any questions, so we'll move on to the next panelist. Thank you very much. Next is Michelle Cruz from Union Settlement.
Chair Felix and Chair Rivera and distinguished council members, my name is Michelle Cruz, and I serve as the Director of Economic Development and Government Affairs at Union Settlement. For nearly 130 years, Union Settlement has been at the forefront of providing opportunities in East Harlem. We offer comprehensive programming to help residents improve their skills and build better lives for themselves and their families. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today about the importance of supporting naturally occurring cultural districts and their impact on communities like East Harlem. Our neighborhoods are not just places on the map. They are living, breathing hubs of culture and creativity that have inspired, uplifted, and sustained generations. East Harlem, El Barrio, is an example of a naturally occurring cultural district, a place where culture and community are inseparable. This neighborhood, with its murals, festivals, and deep-rooted traditions, exemplifies the resilience and pride of its residents. However, what makes East Harlem unique is not just its rich history, but its capacity to adapt and thrive, even in the face of economic challenges and gentrification threats. Culture is not merely entertaining, it is a driving force behind our local economy. By investing in and recognizing cultural districts, we are creating opportunities to attract tourism, increase foot traffic, and elevate the profile of our local businesses. The East Harlem Cultural Theater District, a vision that Union Settlement has long championed, exemplifies how we can leverage cultural resources to drive sustainable economic growth. Cultural districts like East Harlem have long played a pivotal role in anchoring our local economy. Yet these areas are also at risk as economic development pressures and increasing costs put their future in jeopardy. As we move forward, we urge the Council to support the following three measures. One, to designate East Harlem as a cultural district. Legislation has been introduced on the state level by Senator Jose Serrano and Assemblyman Eileen Gunther to develop criteria. May I finish?
Yeah, you could use another 10, 15 seconds to conclude, or whenever you're done.
To develop criteria and guidelines for state-designated cultural districts, we encourage the Council to adopt a resolution supporting this legislation. By doing so, the Council would empower agencies like the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs to allocate critical resources, including grants and technical assistance to local cultural organizations. This designation will provide much needed funding to help institutions not only survive, but thrive. To support public space activation, we need to continue and expand programs like the Public Realm Grant. This public space activation catalyzes our economic growth and foster community connections. Third, it's strengthen the coordination between cultural and economic development agencies as outlined in the Create NYC plan. Collaboration between the Department of Cultural Affairs, SBS, and other agencies is crucial. We need coordinated efforts to implement this community-led economic development initiatives that prioritize cultural preservation and inclusion. In closing, with the council's support, we can create this cultural district that is not just a collection of theaters and galleries, but a beacon of resilience, pride, and economic opportunity. We hope to ensure that communities like East Harlem, which have sustained and inspired many for so long, are given the resources and recognition they deserve to continue thriving for generations to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your testimony. Any questions? Thank you for your testimony. Now it's on. Thank you so much for your testimony. I don't see any questions, so we'll move on to the next panelist. Thank you so much for testifying. Next is Jessica Walker from the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce.
Hi, I'm Jessica Walker. I'm the president and CEO of the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce. We represent the business community in the borough, businesses both large and small. As you know, since COVID, the highest rates of storefront vacancy have been concentrated in Manhattan. So we're very concerned about that. We, as a result, we actually launched what we call the Storefront Resurgence Project, which is designed to do three things. We're trying to drive foot traffic to 2 commercial corridors throughout the borough. We're trying to reduce the prolonged storefront vacancies, and we're trying to support the emergence of the next generation of local brick and mortar businesses that can help to, attract and retain residents, workers, and tourists alike throughout the borough. Our organization also, as part of this, has 5 staff members who are doing nothing but going door to door to provide technical assistance and help to small businesses. And some of this work is actually supported by funding through the City Council. So thank you so much. We recently launched what we call this Retail Storefront Accelerator to help e-commerce and home-based businesses open their first brick and mortar stores in Manhattan. And then as part of the initiative, we also conduct surveys to really try to understand the current state of storefronts. The last one we did was right after Labor Day. We reached out we got responses from about 275 storefront businesses in Manhattan, inclusive of restaurants, retail shops, and others. The vast majority of those surveyed had 10 or fewer employees. And just want to let you know that about half of those who were open before COVID, half of those said that they are doing worse or making less revenue than they were before the pandemic. Half of those also noted that they have fewer customers coming into their businesses, and when the customers do come in, they are spending less. So I am here today just to let you know how supportive we are of the approach that's being discussed today. We are fully supportive of the goals of today's hearing. Art activations, as you know, have the ability to draw in critical foot traffic, which can absolutely be helpful for these businesses and stability of
time has
corridor.
expired. Thank you.
So we are here to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any questions? No questions, so we'll move on to the next panelist. Thank you so much for testifying. Next, Francine Garber Cohen from the Regina Opera Company.
I'm Francine Garber Cohen, president and producer of Regina Opera Company. For 55 years, Regina Opera has offered year-round, fully staged operas and ticketed and free concert in Southwest Brooklyn. And we do a lot of outdoor festivals. Our performances are places where thousands of Brooklyn residents, many of them retirees, are able to meet friends. They get out of their houses, where many of them live alone. The company provides affordable entertainment for audiences who may not otherwise attend live opera performances. Some are on fixed incomes, and some of them could not afford tickets for the Metropolitan Opera. But in order to provide these services, Regina Opera, like other arts organizations, needs increased support from the city. We at Regina Opera acknowledge that small business services helps local Sunset Park and Bay Ridge businesses to survive and grow, and that the arts organizations in these and other neighborhood arts organizations are also small businesses. Regina Opera is just one of the small businesses that play a role in supporting local establishments. The company participates in many cultural events hosted by the Sunset Park Business Improvement District, the Third Avenue Merchants Association of Bay Ridge, and the Bay Ridge Arts and Cultural Alliance. These events bring new and existing customers to these neighborhoods, increase the visibility and the income of the stores and restaurants that our audience members attend. We are now requesting that the Small Business Services expand support for the SBS Public Realm grants and actively recruit more neighborhood-based cultural organizations like
The time
Regina
has
Opera.
expired. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your testimony. Any questions? I don't see any questions. So yeah, thank you so much. You're not excused. Thank you for all the work that you do in our city in the cultural arts realm. We don't have anyone else signed up, but we did have a few individuals who signed up in advance, but they haven't filled out the slip. So I'll just call their names just in case they're here. Shayla Lewandowski, Yira Islana Garcia Rojas, Paperboy Prince, Diane Rose, Aretha Wareham. All right, so I don't see anyone else signed up. So just want to thank everyone who testified today, including the mayoral administration, but also those that the public for joining us and for testifying and just giving us information about the experiences that you've had on the issue of reactivating public spaces, and especially in the context of culture. Thank you so much. This hearing is hereby adjourned.